get started. All right. So here is our agenda for today's call. I'll go over a couple quick announcements and then the COVID data. We have the updated sanitary measure posted and then some Q&A. So it'll be a fairly quick call today. So if you have some Q&A, we'll definitely have time for that. I also created this resource slide at the beginning that just has links to things that we wanted you to have access to all the time. So this will just stay in this slide deck before the announcement. So if you need our webpage or the reporting portal, the vaccine self-scheduling tool with PMG, or any of the COVID data, all of that is going to be linked here for you. So we are working currently on a survey that will go out to all of you before the end of the school year, hopefully in the next couple weeks. And we really want some feedback from you as far as availability, what you want to see going forward, and just guidance on future projects that we're working on. So we would love to have your feedback. So we'll announce it again when that is going out. But just wanted to prep you. We would love as much participation from you guys as possible. Also, as we transition things over to our new school nurse liaison, Connie Johnson, we will be making a couple changes. So she will take over hosting these calls in the next couple weeks. And then we're also going to send out a new call invite. We've been working to compile one master contact list. We have several different lists that we've been kind of trying to bring together. So we'll be sending out a new call invitation to far more people than are on this current list. So if you somehow get this meeting deleted and you don't get another invitation, please reach out to us. We're going to make sure to do our best to make sure everybody has been moved over from this invite to the new one. But just in case something happens, definitely reach out to us at school support. We'll make sure you get on the new invitation. But as Matt announced a couple weeks ago, we do have our new school nurse liaison. She couldn't be with us today because she's at a training, but you will get to know her. Her name is Connie Johnson. She's been a nurse for a very long time, and I think she'll be a great support for you guys. So we're very excited to have her on board. All right, let's get into the COVID data. So as of April 19th, our community level is still low. The rates have increased again for the second week in a row now. Our cases went from just over 500 to 744 cases in the last 7 days. Our case rate per 100,000 is now up to 71 cases per 100,000. That was up from 50 something. So it's a fairly significant increase. Our test positivity also increased to 4.47%, which is about a 1% increase. And our vaccination rate also has increased up to almost 73% of our total population that's eligible is now fully vaccinated. Over 85% of eligible people have at least one dose. So that's all great news. If you or any of your school staff are over 50 or immunocompromised, encourage folks to go get booster shots. All right, here is the data from the schools from the last week. This is also a bit of an increase, but not too drastic. For some reason, last Tuesday we had a big bump, but then it's gone back down since then. So we're keeping an eye on everything. We aren't too concerned yet with the increases. We know we're generally behind the East Coast by several weeks, so we're just keeping an eye on things to see how the BA2 variant affects us. Here's our community levels data. So we are still at low. Our new COVID admissions per 100,000 into the hospital is only at 4. And our percentage of staffed inpatient beds used by COVID patients is only 1%. So we have great hospital availability right now, which is encouraging. Here is the low mitigation. Also, we got a question last week about CDC wastewater surveillance. So as mentioned, for some reason, our data is not on here. I was told it was a CDC website problem, but obviously all these other communities have data on here. So I'm not sure exactly what the problem is, but we are tracking wastewater at 2 different plants here in Pima County, or in Tucson, and then others within Pima County. But this is the wastewater surveillance website, so it's linked here on the right. But it's a bit confusing because there's not, so it's done by percentages. There's not like a standard of this many parts per million or something like that. It's based on historical levels at the site. So if it's red or orange, then it is 80 to 100% of whatever their historical rates have been at that site. If it's 0 to 20%, then it's the dark blue color. That means it's lower than it has been historically at that site. So all of the percentages are based on that specific wastewater site that is reporting. So it's a little confusing, but this does give you an idea. If you look at the map of the country overall, you're welcome to dig in more to this data, and I will, hopefully the Pima County data will show up here at some point, but I will continue to follow up on that and see what's going on. All right, so as promised last week, our sanitary measure is updated. We'll send that out in our follow-up email today, but it's also posted on our webpage there. The outbreak reporting is still required. I'm actually going to go ahead and open this for you guys to see. Second to load. So this is the new sanitary measure. It's very short compared to previous measures. All that is required is outbreak reporting of COVID-19 cases. We do really recommend that you report any COVID case to us so that we can help you with mitigation efforts and just do everything we can to keep everyone safe and healthy and keep schools open. But the only requirement at this point from us is the outbreak reporting, which is 3 or more cases. Sorry, 1 second. And so, yeah, so that's a big change. There's no more language about any of the isolation or quarantine. Again, we do recommend that schools begin working on creating their own policies for either their district or their school. Just because we won't be able to enforce quarantine or isolation anymore. So if you want to be able to have students who test positive not come to school, or students who are symptomatic not to come to school, then you should be creating your own policies for your district or your school. So if you would like our guidance with that, we're happy to consult with you. You can always reach out to us at school support. So that is all we have for you today. If you guys do have any questions, you're welcome to unmute yourself or put them in the chat. I don't see.
Hey, Kat.
Yes.
Kat, this is Penny, TUSD. Are we getting those slides? I mean, we're not getting like the after. Remember how we used to get all the updates? I think like on the Friday or tomorrow. Can we get these slides? These are pretty.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. We'll send the slides out. And last week we did not record the call. And by we, I mean I did not record the call. So I've got it recorded this week. So we'll send out the link and the slides and all of that will come out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kat. Appreciate you.
No problem. And next week, I do encourage you guys to attend next week. We will have our community health and addiction team will be reporting out some really important information about opioid use in our community and in our youth. So I do encourage you guys to attend next week to get some information from them. But yeah, any questions from anyone else?
Hey, this is Kathy Steinley. I just wanted to say thank you very much for at least attempting to get the wastewater information. I know it's being guarded, like I'm not quite sure what's going on, and it seems to be like was it top classified information that apparently, who knew wastewater was such a thing?
Right.
But thank you for including that and attempting to get it. So I do appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, no problem. And I'll continue following up on that because, yeah, the answer that I had received was that the CDC website wasn't working, but it appears to be working. So I don't know really what the problem is. But even if our data isn't on there, you can kind of see what's happening across the country. So it gives you a little bit of an idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I'm happy to wrap up early, give you guys some time back in your day. But if you do have questions, feel free to unmute or you can pop it in the chat. Oh, so are we to do away with the line list completely? So for reporting, you have a couple options. You can do reporting to through the line list if that is the option that you choose, or we encourage you to report through the sport portal, which is also on the slides here. It's linked here for the COVID case reporting. So you can report the cases there, or you can report via line list for any outbreak of 3 or more, or if you'd like to report individual cases as well, we'll take that. But
Thanks.
only,
Yeah, I
yes.
just wanted to, Kat, sorry about that. Anybody TUSD listening on, we're doing the same thing. It's just because we have our own, we've got to do that line list still. There was some confusion that, you guys preferred the other. I appreciate that, but we really need to do this the same way that we've been doing, just because we have to put it into our TUSD dashboard, and that works for us. So anybody TUSD listening on, that's what that's what we're doing. So thank you.
Yep. Yeah. So, but yes, only the outbreaks have to be reported. Cases associated with a suspected or confirmed outbreak. But if you have individual cases, we encourage you to report those as well.
Yep, we're still doing that. Thank you.
All right.
And Kat, for those of us that have CLIO waivers, if we do an on-site test, do we still need to do Pima County positive case, and we use that government CDC website to report?
Simple
also?
report?
Simple report, yes.
Yes. Yep.
To do both still for a positive case.
So if you're using simple report, then it will report to Pima County as well as the state. So I believe that you only have to report through simple report.
Okay.
I will confirm that, but yes, that's my understanding.
Okay, that's great. I've been doing both previously,
Okay.
so if just one is
Yes.
fine, that's great.
Yep. And it's only the positives, like you said, you guys no longer have to report the negatives to either us or the state.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. Perfect. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up a little early today, but we appreciate you being here, and I will be out all next week, but Connie and Matt and Sylvia will also be here. So we will see you on next week's call. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you soon.